Good morning, everyone. Today on Perspectives, home security is on the minds of many of us these days, and that's why the program called Project Shield is in the spotlight. Mobile Police Department officials describe the program as the city's safety net, providing first responders with vital information after a report of a crime, a terrorist threat, even a natural disaster. Now, here's how it works. According to the Mobile Police Department's Cyber Division, it allows police access to existing surveillance camera feeds in businesses, schools, and homes, including even your doorbell camera. Now, to give you an indication of just how powerful a tool that Project Shield can be, let's take a look back at what happened at Ladd-Peebles Stadium on the night of August 31st. Police say that a 17-year-old shot and wounded 9 people after a football game. The stadium is part of the Project Shield network, and police say the surveillance cameras at the facility were key in generating a quick arrest. Here's Fox 10 News reporter Tyler Finger's report on the security camera system at Ladd. Tyler's report filed just days after that incident.
It was a massive response Friday night after shots were fired at Ladd-Peebles Stadium.
Unknown number of people shot.
Police quickly rushing to the scene, trying to stop the shooter. Police say surveillance video is playing a key role in the investigation. The stadium is a part of an MPD program known as Project Shield.
We are constantly monitoring the situations that go on in and around the city, and any place that has video connected through Project Shield, one of the great benefits of the program is being able to access that video immediately once we become aware that there's a situation.
Ladd-Peebles Stadium has been a partner of the program for years. Investigators say the rapid access to video played a large role in the response and eventual arrest of the suspected shooter.
We're trying to stay way ahead of the curve, and in Project Shield we're trying to get as many partnerships as we can, hopefully never to use them in any kind of violent situation.
While police hope Project Shield is a deterrent for would-be criminals, they hope businesses and homeowners help police by signing up.
We're increasing our drive to sign more people up for the program, and we're also increasing our collection of case studies where Project Shield has proven very beneficial in the identification and apprehension of subjects.
Again, that was Tyler Fingert reporting. So far, MPD says that Project Shield has more than 600 partners with more than 10,000 video feeds. They say that 85% of video access right now from businesses and public facilities like Ladd-Peebles Stadium. Police say that 15% of Project Shield's video surveillance is provided right now by private residences and homeowners associations. Joining us this morning is Commander Kevin Levy of the Mobile Police Department's Cyber Division. Commander Levy will have more information on what the program can do and how you can join. Also in the program this morning, we'll talk with Project Shield boosters John Murphy, owner and director of Protect Video, and Brian Birdsong, one of the founding partners for Project Shield and owner of Moe's Original Barbecue in downtown Mobile. Now, they are all urging more citizens to get involved with this program, Project Shield. And we'll have that information and much more when Perspectives continues after the break. And welcome back to Perspectives. And this morning joining us, Kevin Levy, commander of the Mobile Police Department's Cyber Division. And he joins us this morning to share more about Project Shield. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, thank you for the opportunity.
Let me share this with you. It says here that last year, Mayor Sandy Stimpson made a promise that the city would abide by the 21st century police model. And one of the 6 pillars of 21st century policing is technology. Is that what we got going on here now?
Yeah, I mean, the typical idea is that you take technology and figure out different ways that you can use it, not only to enhance law enforcement's performance of keeping the community safe, but also to engage with the community so that they can help law enforcement and get the job done the easiest and safest, most efficient way.
When you talk about surveillance, a lot of people have always wondered, you know, if we can only have policemen right where this is about to happen and we see it developing, does it give you almost that capability with surveillance features?
So, I mean, obviously we're not monitoring these videos unless there's something going on specific, but to be able to put eyes in a situation moments after something happens or during an event, it allows our responding officers to, number one, triage the situation better, which means they come better prepared to the situation, which allows for them to engage in activities, number one, to keep the community safe right there, but also to quickly or more quickly apprehend the offender. So if we know who we're looking for, if we know what they're wearing, if we know what direction they traveled in, what type of vehicle, and all sorts of other pertinent pieces of information, how much quicker can we apprehend the offender, and what does that do in the end? It actually stops the violence, it stops the crime from continuing, because where does that person go, and do they commit another crime down the road? And so that's really where 21st century policing comes in, is not only to rapidly identify the offender, but to put accurate and timely measures into place to get the right person right away.
Because you think about, you hear reports of how when eyewitnesses see things happen, sometimes it can be a little convoluted as actually what they thought they saw. But when you have that surveillance video, it sort of alleviates that part of the equation, I guess you could say.
Well, many times a picture does, say 1,000 words, but I think that in this instant, it actually, really allows the police department an opportunity to engage with the community as well. One of the greatest benefits of this program has not only been getting the video for the real-time response, but it's been the opportunity to meet and shake hands with business owners and residents and communities who all want the same thing. And so one of the things we realized a while back is law enforcement can't do this alone anymore. We need the help of the community, and this is one of those programs that actually gets us out into the community.
So a step above the Neighborhood Crime Watch Association, but now we've got some things where we can see, and you can play back the video and check it and freeze it, and that makes a difference when we talk about the media being able to do that with stories. I'm sure as a law enforcement officer, when you can do that and frame it, you can enhance it, or you can shrink it or enlarge it. That's a whole new capability.
All sorts of those things exist, and you actually you hit it right on the head when you said Neighborhood Crime Watch. This is really a virtual crime watch, and so what we're doing is we're harnessing resources that are already out there. Homeowners already have cameras, businesses already have cameras. Why not allow access only in times of emergency or during an investigation for that video to be played for not only officers who might be responding, but also for investigators who are looking for clues, little pieces of evidence that may have been missed or forgotten along the way that will help us better identify the offender.
That makes a big difference. When you hear this type of technology now being used in law enforcement, you saw maybe movies and TV programs back, a few years ago about it coming or it happening in that particular situation. How difficult was it to get us up to that point to being able to use it as an effective tool here in our local area?
Well, I do have to tell you that I've traveled around the world and I've worked in many places across the country, and I feel truly blessed to be in the city of Mobile, because with the mayor's endorsement and the support of the chief of police and the public safety director for our program, we've really been able to do things here in the city of Mobile that even entities from outside of our area have traveled in to see, and they're astonished about how is this done in Mobile. But it's really about relationship, it's really about partnership, and it's really about understanding where you want to pick and choose this type of information to better serve the community. And when you have that sort of support, and then you have the support of a community who just wants to be safe, you have the perfect formula for the success. And I believe what we're seeing now is the step in the right direction to achieve that.
You spoke about previous performances as far as what you were doing prior to doing this. Secret Service, retired agent. How does that play into this cyber technology? Were you able to bring some things with you?
Sure. I think everything that you do in your life, gives you a skill set to perform better. But, if you want to take it from a very simplistic view, providing security and protection is sort of like a bubble, and you want to keep everything that's dangerous outside of that bubble. And I think that's no different than what I do on a day-to-day basis here with a great team of men and women in law enforcement, our officers and our civilian support staff, to basically protect the community as that bubble. And so we look for ways, the same as other agencies do it for different venues, we're looking to protect the entire city and the Gulf Coast for that matter. And so using that same concept, I think, plays directly into what we do each day.
How did you present that to the business owners when the program first started getting up and running?
Well, I think it's identifying what those common goals are and establishing common ground. And so if I were to visit a business, I want to know what their concerns are. And if they have safety concerns, one of my questions would be, well, if that's a concern, would video surveillance help you? And if the answer is yes, then how about sharing that video with the police so that we can respond better? And when you have the buy-in, if you will, or the agreement from the business owner or the resident that, yeah, that makes perfect sense, because we want access to that video the same reason you bought the video for your particular venue. And so we're all fighting for the same thing, which is to create a safe environment.
A couple of things that happened, success notes. You helped foil a clown threat in Mobile. Also, you helped find school threat suspects. Reflect on those two a little bit.
Well, there's a wide array of things that happen on a daily basis, and a lot of them you don't hear about, right? Because good preventative action, really keep something from coming into light. But there were a few instances over the past couple years, and there was a school incident in particular where the school authorities had an awesome response, but we had information that there might be a suspicious package at a location, and we were actually able to not only identify where that package was and determine that it was inadvertently left there and it was not what they thought it was, but also sort of look back historically at that video and identify who had placed it there and it was accidentally left there, and basically, I don't want to say foil, but if you will, put at ease a situation that didn't need to escalate because it was really just a miscommunication. And by doing that, I mean, if you think back at the dramatic response people have to schools when they think there's something going on, and just the mere prevention of that is a safety enhancement.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more, in fact, with two of the folks from the business community who are a part of this program and making sure that they're providing the, I guess, initiatives and the incentives to make sure that other business owners see this as a valuable asset. Commander Kevin Levy, we'll be talking more with him as well as Perspectives continues right after this break. And welcome back to Perspectives. And as we introduced earlier, our Project Shield boosters, John Murphy of Protect Video and Brian Birdsong, of one of the founding partners, in fact, of Project Shield. He's also the owner of Moe's Original Barbecue in downtown Mobile, and they both join us. We thank you for being here on Perspectives today.
Great to be here.
For me, a lot of excitement hearing Commander Levy talk about what this program provides, and tell us as business owners. In fact, Brian, we'll give you a start since you were one of the founding boosters. What and how did you receive this when you were first approached by the cyber division?
I received it as an opportunity to make a difference around the little area that I'm involved with. And
you're in the heart of downtown at Dauphin, and what's the other merging street?
Spring Hill.
At Spring Hill and Dauphin. And
you just try to, what are some ways that we can keep my customers safe, my employees safe, and this is a great way to do that. It was really a no-brainer when I was approached with it. I just wanted to do my part and help out.
And John, of course, a familiar face to a lot of us, a law enforcement veteran. And how did you get involved with this? What was the door opener for you?
Well, after law enforcement, I actually had an opportunity to start doing some of my own work, and so we started a business, and we work a lot with security cameras. When we started getting into like the things with Project Shield, it was really amazing. It was something that I was looking back at when I was in law enforcement, what I'd really liked to have done. The ability to get the communities to work hand in hand with law enforcement is an incredible tool, and they were able to get things that maybe law enforcement couldn't have afforded to do everything by having these cameras in all these different locations, have them combined and brought in, and now they can use those to better respond to situations.
What is the feeling in the business community? Because that's one of the things for the downtown business community is making the customer feel safe to come down there any time of the day, and making sure that it doesn't affect your business when the sun goes down. What's your community saying about this?
We have a lot of positive feedback from customers or different vendors that, somebody will come and ask me, hey, tell me about this Project Shield. What, are they watching you? And I'm like, no, they're not watching you. It's, during big events, I might ask them to pay a little bit extra close attention, but it's there as a safety net to where you know exactly where the problem is, you know who did it. It just takes out all the questions.
For the area that you're in, do most of the business owners have surveillance cameras?
Most of us do, yeah. Just for, employees or people, outsiders, doing things.
And I guess that's one of the things, John, with so many people now seeing the benefit of being able to use this video to show law enforcement, or to be able to now, the TV stations and some of the other aspects of media make a place for this to be able to show criminals in action. Is that an easier sell now when you're talking to business owners?
A lot of people still don't know about it, and that's why I think shows like this are very important, because that's one of the first things I tell people. It doesn't cost anything, and it's got so many benefits. Because what's happening is if you have a camera system, whether it's one camera or 3 cameras, you become part of a much larger system. So now, you're expanding that out to be part of this program, and it gives much better coverage. It can help you and help others.
You mentioned that point about people wondering if they're being watched. How do you allay those kind of fears of people just concerns about technology?
you know, I say if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't really have to worry
I
about
like
it.
that school of thought.
But you know, I believe that the police force has a lot bigger things to do than to watch my daily activities. They're fighting crime and keeping us safe, and I live a pretty straightforward life too. So.
Right.
And
John?
I'll also say that one of the biggest things I've seen, I was concerned a little bit about, people being worried about Big Brother. But the most important thing, people just want to be safe. And so when they see the incidents, they want the best response, the best capability, and the best people to be there for them.
We've had a segment that we run called Caught in the Act, and from the apparent results that we're getting some very good response, and people seeing the need to call in and let people know, because we do have people out and about at times when we may be away from our home or business, or we may be asleep, and we still see the criminal activity going on in these places. I'm sure you have seen some of the recent things that they've made arrests on. I'm sure that's a big boost for you as a business owner, that once you lock up the place and leave, you've got something you can depend on.
Correct. And I get calls for false alarms a lot, and it's easy to pull up the camera, and the police can pull it up. Oh, this was, a chair fell that set off the motion detector. Nobody was trying to get in. It saves them time too.
Yeah, that makes a difference. I remember the days in business and going to have to check on stuff when that alarm goes off. And so how close are you to your business? Do you live a little ways away, so that would be a little get up and move kind of situation?
I'm a little bit further. One of my partners lives right next door, though, so he unfortunately gets a lot of those calls. But, yeah.
That's a good thing to have in place, for that being one of the benefits you can sell to business owners. We've talked about the percentage. We've got a lot of business owners participating. Now we've got to target the residences.
It's obviously going to be, just better. It's like I was saying, when you have one camera, that's good, but if you have cameras spread out, whether it's through a neighborhood or, intersections or those type of things, like a lot of things that's become very popular is the cameras going into neighborhoods, because that way they can see if a vehicle comes in, or if there's foot traffic, or if there's something else. And so those type of things are starting to become much more popular, and now, because of the way technology works, those cameras can be tied in with some of the residential cameras or the other things that are there, and you can follow somebody as they do something if they're doing something wrong. So it's a big benefit.
I like that. It sounds like a win-win for everyone. We're going to bring Commander Levy back in with us and do a final segment as we talk more about introducing us to the residences and the communities to get more of you involved in Project Shield. Perspectives continues right after this. And welcome back. Commander Kevin Levy rejoins us here this morning on Perspectives, along, of course, with John Murphy and Brian Birdsong, also vital parts of Project Shield. We're talking 21st century policing and how technology can be another tool to make sure that things go the way that we all want them to go as it relates to our safety and security.
Yeah, and I think what you have up here actually represents 21st century policing, and one of the basic cores that we can't forget, which it still involves people, partnership. And so everything we've done, we build it on people, those relationships, and how can we use those relationships to work more efficiently. And technology helps with that, but you can't ever forget that you still have to have those partners. And
of course, we talked earlier about the example of the Community Watch. This is now an extension and a growth of capability.
Yeah, I mean, with Virtual Watch, it's everything. And, this really goes along, too, with, you've heard of See Something, Say Something programs and those sorts of things. It's the same sort of thing as even if somebody doesn't connect through Project Shield, which we hope they would, but if for some reason they didn't, they still have a responsibility, we believe, a civic duty to work with the law enforcement. And if they see something, let us know. And if there's something we can do to better safeguard their area of town or their community or their, residential community or business, then let us know and let us try and do our part to make sure we bridge those relationships.
Do you target certain areas to where you say, we've got issues, as the police normally look at different precincts and see what the crime rate is, and you go in and say, well, we can do this, which will help you feel safer? Because I know just recently one of the West Mobile neighborhoods had like a rash of 20-some burglaries in just a short period of time, and I understand a lot of the cameras and doorbell things were purchased, and people are now understanding that they are part of the solution.
Well, and I think one of the unique things is people that live in a certain area, work in a certain area, they know what's happening in their area and they want to participate. And so one of the great things is sort of the grassroots level of Project Shield was that it sort of developed on its own. And so people that join our program program are joining because they want their community to be safe. And so when things happen in certain areas, those oftentimes are the first people to call us and say, hey, how can we get involved? And so we've not really had to target a specific area. Instead, we've just opened up the floodgates, if you will, and welcomed as many participants as we can, with the theory that all of those relevant areas will be accomplished in those partnerships.
John, what are you saying to people who are homeowners? How do we get them more involved?
Well, basically, you know, when they want to look at a system and they're wanting the best protection for the residents, we always bring up Project Shield because it's a free program and it's going to benefit. And like I say, it expands the ability of all your cameras. So they just want something that's going to be the quickest thing that they can get. But I would tell them, you know, make sure that whatever system you go with, that it is going to be compliant with Project Shield.
How affordable is it now for a homeowner?
You know, cameras can range, they're all basically computers now. So cameras can start in a very, you know, beginner type, and you can have 1 or 2, or you can have, I've got some people that'll have 10, but you know, typically for most residents, you know, about 3 cameras. One's better than nothing because it's going to give you a lot more information, but usually about 3 cameras at a site. And it just depends on what type of cameras they're using and if they're doing, you know, cloud-based or if they're doing an NVR type setup.
How low can you go to get in?
You know, you can go to you can go to some of the box stores and you can buy systems starting at $700, but probably most of the ones that are going to be doing anything with cloud-based are going to be closer to around $2,000.
Okay, well, and a good investment for a homeowner. Brian, when you talk about this, what are you saying to maybe your customers? Are you sharing it in the restaurant?
Our customers know we have cameras. I mean, you can see them, but we use a lot of that, you know, for finding. People may say, I lost my cell phone, where was it? We can be like, well, you left the restaurant with it, but you know, stuff like that. But yeah, they know that we have cameras. I have cameras at my house that, you know, our neighborhood shares cameras to stop vandalism. It's like Kevin says, 21st century. It's part of it.
And I was just thinking, you know, as you were sharing that might be one of the resources, have the businesses have information about it in the place, especially with the traffic that you have in the downtown area, and a restaurant to say more about Project Shield for the homeowner and the residences. You see the benefit and you can hear it. And I guess for me, one of the things, you see the enthusiasm from law enforcement. Does that make a difference for getting all of us involved?
Yeah. And it's actually helped, you know, develop a lot of good relationships too. Just keeping in touch with people, with the law enforcement, and you kind of know who you need to call when something's going on. So it's a good way to form a good relationship.
And who's wearing the face of the program?
Absolutely, and I think it's very important too because they can actually tie those things in and they understand how quickly they can get that assistance. And you know, law enforcement, if they have more to go by, because if you don't have any information, you're just trying to figure something out. But if you at least have something that's got a picture and time, all that information is going to make it so much better for them.
All of a win-win situation. And of course, we have the information for you for more on Project Shield, and the number you see on the screen there. You can call for more information, or you can email Mobile Police at mpdcyber@cityofmobile.org to join as well. Information on Project Shield is, of course, as we mentioned, on the Mobile Police Department's website as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today, and continued success on this program. And hopefully this will be a part of getting the word out to even more folks, especially in the community areas where we can make this a success for everyone.
Great, thank you.
Thank you all very much. And of course, thank you for joining us here at 7:30 on Perspectives. As well, we'll be here next week at the same time discussing important issues and seeking solutions. And of course, if you have any ideas of topics you'd like for us to discuss, to drop it to us at perspectives@fox10tv.com. I'm Eric Reynolds. Have a great week.